The Doctor travels around the universe with their companions. That is the classic image. Ever since day one, the Doctor has had people with them, picking up strangers who quickly become friends, as they get whisked away from their normal lives and thrust into marvellous, crazy and dangerous adventures. The Doctor's bond with their companions can produce some of the best storylines and moments in the history of the show. The Fourth Doctor's friendship with Sarah Jane Smith, the 9th and 10th Doctor's love story with Rose Tyler, the 11th Doctor's family dynamic with the Ponds, just to name a few. All of these interactions actually allow us as the audience to have a perspective of what it's like to meet and travel with the Time Lord. We also see how these companions help the Doctor, ground them in reality, pulling out the best parts of the Time Lord's character and stopping the Doctor from stepping over the line, doing things that they might regret later. The Doctor's companions are such a key part of the show's identity, and that's why I think that the decision to have Tennant's Doctor be alone for his last few episodes was bold and brilliant. Towards the end of David Tennant's run, his Doctor had lost all of his companions. Rose, the person he loved, is lost to another universe. Martha stepped away from the TARDIS, building a life on Earth, working for UNIT. And Donna, probably his best friend, isn't allowed to even see his face without her brain burning up, literally. He truly is alone, refusing to connect with people like he used to in fear of losing them.
People have travelled with me and I've lost them. Lost them all. Never again.
One man travelling the universe in isolation. And we see this affect him, we see this darker side start to come through. We've seen the 10th Doctor's fury and rage before. We see it in The Runaway Bride, we see glimpses of it in The Fires of Pompeii, and in one of the most memorable sequences in modern Doctor Who, we see him cold and calculated in The Family of Blood, punishing the family in harsh and torturous ways. But in all of these examples, this is the Doctor being pushed to his very limits. They all come at the end of a story where we have seen him and his friends battle through tough circumstances, and it's him saving and protecting people. We sort of understand that he sees this as a last resort. They have forced his hand to act in the way he does, and afterwards he snaps back to that righteous and fun character that we know and love. But there is something different that happens when he's alone, and we see the culmination of this in The Waters of Mars. Towards the end of the episode, we start to see the Doctor get an inflated sense of ego, a sense of grandeur. The Doctor has always acknowledged that he is one of the most intelligent beings in the universe. He boasts about how clever he is to his companions all the time, but even though he knows this, he knows his place in the universe, and he doesn't discount anyone else. Time and time again, he sees his friends and humanity as a whole overcome obstacles on their own without his help. A lesser being would look down on them and see them as ants, small and stupid, but the Doctor's love for humanity often shines through, and it grounds him, keeps his ego in check. But in The Waters of Mars, we see what happens when he loses that sense of reality. His ego as the last Time Lord balloons. He sees himself in such a vastly different light. We see him break rules that he so vigilantly enforced upon himself and his companions, play with time as though he is its master.
There are laws of time. Once upon a time, there were people in charge of those laws, but they died. They all died. Do you know who that leaves? Me! It's taken me all these years to realise the laws of time are mine, and they will obey me!
It's quite frightening, as he acts without concern for the ramifications of what might happen, because he sees no reason to, for ultimately, he is a winner.
For a long time now, I thought I was just a survivor, but I'm not. I'm the winner. That's who I am. The Time Lord victorious.
We get this glimpse of how scary the Doctor could be if he was not a force for good. His intellect and drive to overcome anything used to be endearing to us. We used to see how he would fight for what is right, but here he's not fighting for what is right, he is fighting to show his ability to fight. He is flexing his dominion over time, inflating his ego. In the last scene of the episode, we see a man who has been consumed by his own power and brilliance. This scene utterly shocked me when I first watched it. The contrast between Tennant's usual giddy and upbeat self, and then this. He is still expressionless and cold. He boasts, but this time in a way that is sinister.
Is there nothing you can't do?
Not anymore.
His performance is incredible. But if you actually look closer, what you really see is a lonely and broken man wrestling with the idea that his death is coming soon, trying to grasp onto reality and bend it to his will. His efforts to try to change time, to alter history, and rule it with his actions are ultimately a means to show himself that he can escape the inevitable. His death has been mentioned to him a few times by now. He has been told that his song is ending.
Because your song is ending, sir.
What do you mean?
But if he can control time, if he can be the Time Lord victorious, then he can escape what has been foretold, escape his demise. But he can't. We see that time has a means of protecting itself. And as he realizes this, that time cannot be messed with, it cannot be controlled, we see the cracks of his persona start to break and his emotions come out. He is scared. He is terrified. He does not want to die, but he knows that it is something that he cannot stop. And he begins to see what he has done and who he has become, and is ashamed of himself. David Tennant is such a fantastic actor, and his ability to express all of these complex and overlapping emotions in such subtle but noticeable ways is a testament to his acting prowess. But what is really sad is that he has no one to confide in. After all of this, he has no friends, no companions, and no family anymore. And so he's forced to get back into his TARDIS alone, with the weight of his own inevitable death hanging heavy on his shoulders. And it is tragic. This journey takes us to the next 2 episodes. The End of Time Part 1 and Part 2, a wonderful story that deals with so many different things and finally puts an end to the 10th Doctor. For me, the best part of this story is Wilfred, the character played by Bernard Cribbins, and the relationship between him and the Doctor. A lot of the themes and character beats that I've talked about here come into play in that relationship in those episodes, and I think it's fascinating. And so as a sort of follow-up to this video, I'll be making another video that focuses on the interactions between these 2 men. There are 2 scenes in particular that I love, and I can't wait to dive into them. So keep an eye out for that soon. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put a comment on the video down below. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!